Monday Night Raw has been proven for a while now that it is the A show when compared with SmackDown, and this week was no different. Raw had some big moments, Raw had a big ending, and it actually got Raw a big ratings return. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. Let's talk about Monday Night Raw, because I think consistently for the past month, Raw has actually been, can't believe I'm going to say this, it's been watchable. It's been decent. We went through a period where Raw was pretty much 3 hours of absolute trash, and if you were lucky, you might get like 15 minutes of something that was okay. Recently, I would say since maybe like a month after WrestleMania, Raw has actually been not bad to watch. Now, still doesn't help the fact that the show is 3 hours and that sometimes some of the top guys just do not appear. But when you compare Raw right now to SmackDown, there is one winner, and it is the red brand. It's Monday Night Raw. And if Raw was a 2-hour show, think of an hour. If you could cut 1 hour of all the worst stuff from Raw, think how much better that would actually make Raw than SmackDown. So for me right now, Raw is the better show. There's no doubt about it. Everything interesting is happening on Raw, and we got the interesting debut of the Wyatt 6 this week, and we can see that actually resulted in a good rating. So WWE Raw this week did a 1.747 million in the viewership and a demographic of 0.55. Now, in terms of the viewership, it is up 9% from last week. Last week it did a 1.609. This week it did a 1.747. So it's up 138,000. And it is the highest viewership since the 15th of April 2024. Now that would be the second Raw after WrestleMania. But keep in mind, that Raw and the Raw before that, they were only high because you were coming off of WrestleMania, you were coming off of The Rock. You know, that's the only reason those ratings done well. When we got further away from The Rock, when we got further away from WrestleMania, we seen Raw just like dip into like 1.6, 1.5, and the ratings were pretty poor. But I mean, this is a solid rating for Monday Night Raw, and it's definitely a step in the right direction because the last couple of weeks, Raw has been okay, but it hasn't really been getting the ratings, in my opinion, that it deserves. But this week, we can see that there's a pretty decent jump here, a pretty big increase. So 9% up in the viewership, 10% up in the key demo. And why is it up? What brought in the views? Well, I think it's fair to say there's quite a lot of big moments. You had the Wyatt 6 debuting, you had Drew McIntyre quitting, you had Seth Rollins returning, you had the Liv and Dominic stuff continuing. There was a lot of good things happening on Raw, and when you look at the video clips for the YouTube channel, you can clearly see that these things are paying off, that people are interested in what they're showing. So as of today, we're talking approximately, I want to say, it's about 17 hours. 17 hours after Monday Night Raw uploaded these clips. The highest viewed clip with 1.578 million is Uncle Howdy returning with Sinister Friends. This has to be the best performing clip I've seen WWE upload in I don't know how long. This is doing better than what the CM Punk stuff with Drew McIntyre did. This is doing better than what the Rock and Cody Rhodes segment did. And if you compare it to the same space of time, now, those feeds eventually did rise to like 2.1 million the last time I checked, but it took a couple of days for that to happen. This Uncle Howdy returning is already close to 1.6 million after about 17 hours. I think we could see this probably surpass those other two, and I think we could see this maybe start to level out at around 2.53 million. Just goes to show you that people are interested. But in second place with 618,000 views, it was the debut, the return of Seth Rollins. Another great rating. 618,000. That's kind of like on parallel with the Liv Morgan, slightly below, but it's almost close to the Liv Morgan kiss on Dominic a few weeks ago. So people interested in seeing Seth Rollins. In third place, with 534,000 views, you got Drew McIntyre quitting the WWE. So again, another video here. We've got 3 feds over 500,000 views. So you've got things that people are definitely interested in seeing. And then Liv Morgan cornering Dirty Dominic Mysterio in 4th place, got 492,000 views. Again, very close to that 500,000 mark. So after only 17 hours, you've got 4 clips that are performing really, really well. We then go down into 5th place. We've got Otis striking back against Chad Gable, 368,000. 6th place, 306,000, Finn Balor plays coy regarding Liv Morgan's hotel keyroom card. 7th place, 295,000, Otis tells Chad Gable they're finished. And in 8th place, 287,000 views, Braun Breaker, Sheamus, they eye Sami Zayn's Intercontinental title. Now, what's interesting here is, in 5th place, you've got Otis striking back against Chad Gable. Now, that is the 5th best segment this week with 368,000 views, but most weeks, that would be in 1st place. That would be enough to be top of this list. But we've got so many things that were obviously drawing, so many things that were piquing people's interest for this Monday Night Raw, that the numbers are really, really good. So it seems like Seth Rollins' return and the Drew McIntyre stuff and the Liv Morgan Dominic stuff, it seems like small numbers in comparison to the Uncle Howdy stuff, but those numbers alone are still really, really good. So yeah, lots of talking points about Raw this week. Lots of big things happening on the show. And Raw right now is just so much better than SmackDown. It's unbelievable how much better Raw is. Like I said, we went through probably like a 3-year, 4-year period where Raw was fucking unwatchable. Like, Raw was really, really bad. But right now, in terms of quality, Raw is the A show. It might still be behind SmackDown in the ratings, but I'm pretty sure that's because SmackDown is on Fox. Plus, you've got Raw having that extra hour, and that's where people tend to drop off in the viewership, so that doesn't help the Raw rating. But last week's SmackDown was the lowest SmackDown rating of the year. This week's Raw was the highest, since WrestleMania, since the second Raw after WrestleMania. So, yeah, Raw seems to be going up. SmackDown is just so boring right now. We know that CM Punk's going to be on SmackDown this week. That should help the numbers. Will we see the Uncle Howdy stuff on SmackDown? Not too sure, but yeah, Raw I think has been pretty good. And one final note, the tiebreaker question. So yes, Clash at the Castle, £25 giveaway. The tiebreaker question was, what would the WWE Monday Night Raw rating be? Now, I have looked and we do have a winner, and I will make a post regarding that on the community section, so stay tuned for that. And then you're going to have to reach out to me via DM on Twitter or Instagram, because I'm not quite sure a private way to message on YouTube. I don't think there is. So yeah, the winner's going to have to reach out to me on Twitter or Insta, but I will provide links for you to do that. So yeah, that's it, guys. Monday Night Raw ratings are in, and the numbers are really good. So interesting to see how the quarters go. I think people were expecting the Wyatt family to debut, or the Uncle Howdy, whatever they want to call them, the Wyatt Six. So I'm expecting the Raw quarters to actually be pretty decent, and it'll be interesting to see if that final hour held. It'll be interesting to see if the main event did a good number with people expecting the debut of the Wyatt Six after it. Because keep in mind, the main event did end a little bit early, so therefore we knew we were getting something. And yeah, we did get something. We got actually something really good. So interesting to see what the numbers are like. Anyway, guys, that's it. Till next time. Peace.